So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZWGames5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below. What's up YouTube? Dale here from Zephyr Games, bringing you a pure-ish Lightsworn deck. So this is a deck not involving any zombies at all, and it was part of a request that I received on YouTube as well, and it's also my personal build. So I've been working on it, been trying to tinker with it, putting some couple of engines in it, also support materials. There's different ways you can actually play the deck. You can go with a chaos version, which I've chosen not to go with. You can go with the zombie version, which I personally feel is the most fun way of playing it as well. You've just got to be careful with locking yourself into zombies. And then we've got this version. Now this version I've tried to keep at 40 cards. It is all about milling. You want to get as much into the grave as possible to then get additional effects off, and then you want to be using your Pot of Avarice, which is now at 3, to shuffle them back in and draw 2 cards as well. So it gives you a lot of control over the graveyard, and it also gives you a lot of control over the board as well. Going for rank 4 spam, and also going for a decent link climb as well to finish the game off. The design behind this deck is literally be able to stun your opponent first turn, which is one weakness that Lightsworn's always had, is if they never got their mill off, sometimes they could really struggle. But there's a lot of extenders in the deck that help you actually get there, and then provide you with a lot of ways of stunning your opponent. Then going into round 2, or turn 2, you would literally go for JD, nuke the board, and then build your board back up and go in for game. And that's where you can build into like a Boral Sword into JD. And 9 out of 10, that actually works really, really well. So before we get into the profile, please smash that like button, show us all the support towards us, especially in these isolated times. We're also going to try and bring you as many profiles as we possibly can. And then any questions that you have as well, put them in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. With that said and done, hit the notification bell and subscribe so that we can show you more profiles like this. Now, let's show you new and improved Master Rule 5 April 2020 ban list, Lightsworns. So, I'm going to crack straight into it. Now, one of the risks that I've been playing in this deck, and something that I've been going back and forth over, is I'm only playing 2 JDs. Now, I would like to play the third one. I've got it sitting to my side, ready to go. But the reason I've gone with 2 is just the risk of the brick, and with a deck like this, the risk of the brick is sometimes too high. So I've had to kind of balance it out, and I've gone with 2 JDs. I've got enough boss monsters in my main deck and extra deck, and there's a couple of cards that I'm thinking about changing and swapping around. We'll then play triple Raiden Hand of the Lightsworn. This is obviously your Ghost starter. This gives you an additional mill on his summon, or during the main phase you get to use his effect to mill 2, and then end phase mill an additional 2 as well. We've then got triple Wolf. You never want to see this card in your hand, but you do have to play it at 3 as well. If it is sent from the sent to the graveyard from the deck, you get to special summon it. So it's a free summon. This with a Raiden is straight instant, either level 8 Synchro or an XYZ rank 4. Double Lumina, I was considering playing at 3. I'm probably going to bump it up to 3. It's just one last thing that I haven't fully decided on yet. The fact that it's not hard once per turn, and as long as you've got a Lightsworn in grave, you can actually use her effect to target herself, bring her back, discard another card, bring back another one, discard another one, and straight away from the 1 card you've got 4. As long as you've got the Luminas in the graveyard to bring them back, it actually allows you to extend your board quite nicely. And then you finish off with a Raiden. Raiden gives you an additional mill, and as long as you get another level 4 on board, you can go straight into a rank 4, and now no longer clog up your extra monster zone. Then for the one-offs, we've got the 1 Minerva, the 1 Felice, and the 1 Lila. You can play Graph in the deck as well, and you can also play some of the Twilight Swans. I've just gone pure light. So all of these share their same effects. You don't really want to be opening them. You want to be getting the mill effects off of each of these. Minerva is an additional mill. Felice is if it's sent via a monster effect to the graveyard, you can special summon it. And Lila is you switch it to defense and pop a back row, but it's just an additional name as well. Then for the extenders, we've got triple Goblinberg. Obviously, this is searchable off of Rota, and then this plus a Raiden gives you an instant rank 4 Minerva and an additional mill off of Raiden as well. Then for the extenders, and continuing from this, we've got dangers. So we've got double Mothman, 1 Chupacabra, 1 Nessie, and 1 Jackalope. You can play the 1 Snake in here as well if you want, because it's all about extending. These do play the dark part of the Chaos version, should you want to build it. I do want to put like BLS in here. I don't want to play like Wyvern as well. But then by putting those boss monsters in, you have to sacrifice other boss monsters like JD, or the double or nothing play that I go for as well. So it really depends on what version you want to go with. I've gone directly with this version. There is a Shadol version as well, and like I said, there's also a zombie version. Then for the really cool cards that I love playing in this deck, you've got the 1 Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak, the 1 Phantom Knights of Silent Boot, and the 1 Nibiru. Now Nibiru is actually searchable in the deck, so the idea is, during your first turn play, you're going to be ending the board on at least 1 Fog Blade, and hopefully search into a Nibiru as well. So you're like, if you make 5 summons, I'm going to Nibiru you. If you try and make a negate within your first 4 summons, I am going to Fog Blade you and negate that as well. Be warned, I am coming for you. I've also got, if you want to, you can go with a Time Thief Redo it. You can go with a Baguska. You're just going to go on full lockdown, full stun, full I'm going to win turn 1. And then the best thing about this deck, if they go, fine, I'll go first then, and you're going to go second, the idea is you mill so much to your graveyard, you just go, JD, nuke the board, another JD, nuke the board if you need to. And you're just going to go in for game that way as well. There's a lot to play around with. Onto the spells, we've got Triple Charger Light Brigade. This is your rotor, this is your searcher of the any of your Lightsworn monsters. And then you get to, so you mill the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you get to add 1 level 4 or lower Lightsworn monster. So that is your Luminous Search, that is mainly your Riding Search as well. We've then got double solar recharge. Because the engine isn't massive for Lightsworn monsters, I've only gone with 2. Now the reason I've gone with 2 is because I backed the other space up with 2 pot of Avarice. And the reason I've done this is because, like I said, the whole idea is to mill. The only cards we're milling to the graveyard and then banishing is stuff like the Phantom Knights. So being able to reuse a Nibiru should you need to, not that you should ever need to, but should you get that a chance to do it, you do. You mill quite a lot, that you're going to be putting loads of Lightsworns into the graveyard, and all you need is 4 with different names. So you can recycle your Wolves, you can recycle your Felices, and you just get to move further forward that way. Then for the rest of the spells, you've got the 1 Double or Nothing, the 1 Monster Reborn, the 1 Foolish Burial, and the 1 Reinforcement of the Army. All one of the cameras didn't want to play ball anymore. So yeah, we've got these in front. Like I said, we've got the Game Killer, we've got the Reviver, and then we've got the Searcher as well. Then onto the traps, we've got triple Phantom Knights of Shade Brigadine. This is just your extender, so you can search it off of either of the Phantom Knights, and it helps you extend. It allows you to get an instant, should you open this up, this plus a Riding, if Riding's got bad mills, goes straight into a Time Thief Reader or into a Minerva, and that gives you additional mills as well to help get you going. And then we've got double Fog Blade. Now 9 out of 10, you only want to be searching and setting these off of your Phantom Knights. These you want to be opening up with and just being used as general extenders. Now the second these go into the graveyard, of course it does suck, because then this becomes a less, it's not as fast, you do need to set it and play it. But playing this ratio kind of works nicely. You can cut these down if you want to, but like I said, you want to open these up in order to use the effects to special summon it and then get your rank 4 going. That then can really get the tools going. So if you go with a Riding and the Riding gets you bad mills or not good enough mills to go into your rank 4, but you've got this in hand, you play this instant rank 4 and then you get to go a little bit further as well. It does allow you to extend and get into the game and actually pull off a stun board a lot quicker and consistently than you might originally think. So that's it for the main deck. On to the extra deck. We've got a lot of rank 4s, guys. So we've got the Time Thief Reader, we've got the Daguerreus, and we've got the Gallant Granite. Now this is obviously your Nibiru Searcher. This gives you either additional draws to a discard, doubles up one of your attacks, or you can special summon 1 monster from your graveyard in a defense position. Sorry, brain went blank on that one. Redo is there as another nice deterrent, because if you get this with the Shade Brigadine, you've got an additional bounce. So let's just say you've gone with Granite, you've searched out a Nibiru, you've gone into Redoer, you've got a bounce during your opponent's turn because it's attached with a trap, and then whatever you rip off your opponent's deck, if there's a spell, additional plus with a draw. So that's 2 of your disruptions right there already. You've then got your Minerva for the mills, and then you've got the Utopia package for the kill, just to give you alternate routes to winning the game. You've then got the 1 Baguska as an additional stun. So if you were to go everything, if you can't get into anything decent, a Baguska can actually sometimes be really good to stun your opponent out for a couple of turns to then allow you to build your board. Then we've got some Synchros. Now you don't have to play these, you can actually take these out for rank XYZs if you want to, or other Link monsters. But we've got the Omega to recycle your banished monsters. Now this is actually really important, because you recycle your banished monsters, you're then able to spin this. You're then able to put back your Phantom Knights, and your Phantom Knights can then be used again to search you out more traps. And that just allows you to extend your board a little bit better, and it's also putting fodder back into the graveyard should you need to for stuff like your Pot of Avarice as well. Michael is just because it's a Lightsworn deck, I'm going with the natural habit of it, and Scarlet is there to win you games. You make this in the main phase, and your opponent's like, yeah, I'm above you by 1,000. You go, alright, cool, Scarlet's event, nuke the board of everything below 3,000, that's an effect monster, and then burn you for 500 for each game. So that can actually be a very good match winner there. And then we play 5 links. So for the 5 links, we play the one Bujinki Ashmiya. Now this one's really, really good because it allows you to... It requires 2 monsters with the same level, so that's a bit of a restriction. But when it's link summoned, you can special summon 2 monsters from with the same level, one from your hand and one from the graveyard. So that gets bricks of Felice and Wolf out of your hand, and it also allows you to bring back. So that gives you an instant rank 4. If you detach a material with an XYZ that this card points to, you get to pop a back row instead. Now it's not the most ideal route that you want to go with, but between that and an IP Masquerena, this actually gives you more extension, and the IP is more defensive because then she can go into the Unicorn. She can then also go into a Appaloosa and a Borosword. Now if Borosword is your game killer, your Appaloosa is there for protection. So you make this going first. Just imagine, right, the best board, and this is opening up the actual nuts by the way, if you were to have an Appaloosa plus a Time Thief Redo plus a Granite that then gives you a Nibiru in hand plus 2 Fog Blades. Your opponent is not breaking that. Alright, Dark Ruler no more, that's fine. You've still got Fog Blades to back you up. You've still got the Nibiru in hand that should they overextend, you're going to crush them. Simple as that. It really, really puts them on the back foot straight away, and it gives Lightsworns a decent first turn play that they might not have previously had. So that is it for the profile. Quite straightforward and simple. A very different take on the build in my opinion. It's definitely something that I like playing. I do miss Snow. I mean, it would be really, really cool to have Snow back, just to kind of play around with it. And it just allows you to control the graveyard a little bit more consistently and a little bit better as well. But that being said, I'm so looking forward to actually giving this a full run out, and I'd like to see a couple of other versions I can play around with. Like I said, there's zombies, there's Shadows, and there's also Chaos version as well. So that's where you put in your BLS, your Levineers, and you put in the Chaos Dragons as well, even though they are at 1. Anyway, I hope you like this. I hope it's giving you a couple of ideas on your own build as well. And like I said, trial it around, change it around, do some different changes. I want to say changes anymore. Do some different text, play it around, see how it works for you, and then you put in your own personal touch, depending on whether you want to be going for JDK kill, or you want to go for like rank 4 spam kill, or the synchro spell, whatever you want to go for. It does give you a lot of opportunities with inside this deck. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and until next time guys, as always, happy dueling!